Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, sure. Do you know when that's finished, the break? That's okay. Once that's done, we'll... You know, it's okay.
The NPL Men's Victoria competition returns to Lakeside. This beautiful winter traditional Melbournian afternoon turned into night with the floodlights on the playing surface here at wonderful Lakeside Stadium, where South Melbourne lock horns with the Altona Magic. Adam Palombi on the call today for NPL Victoria. It is an honour to be here at such a storied venue across not just Victoria but Australia as a whole, and these two sides certainly old rivals, doing it now in the modern era of NPL football. Their seasons rather similar in this year's competition thus far. 10th against 11th, although South Melbourne, despite what was a rocky start, still have silverware in their ambitions, with the Doherty Cup not too far away in both the women's and men's competition. So are those at Lakeside enjoying that of the blue here today. Still have something to aspire for in this season. Finals is still a possibility, although it would take a lot, considering they'd have to be perfect from this point out in the remainder of the season, and hope results around them don't go well their opposing team's ways. Adam Palombi on the call today, as we mentioned. Might have a quick look at how both these sides are going to line up. We'll start with that of the Altona Magic. The captain, Christian Rossi, is the goalkeeper. Kawaguchi and Alexander Gust are the fullbacks, with Barka Danikoski and Olamawewe as the centre-back partnership. John Stodchevsky is in the engine room with William Thomason and Christian Theodorakopoulos. Owen Shepherd, Bilal Habib and Mohammed El Halwi are the attackers. On the bench, the understudy goalkeeper of Troy, Big No, Lachlan Gillard, Anthony Frangi can provide some firepower. Ali Hassab, Peter Hatzopoulos and Gavin Tasevsky, the options for the Magic. Meanwhile, a centenarian today for South, that of Javi Lopez. 100 games in between the sticks for that of the hosts. So we segue nicely into that of how they might line up today. 100th gamer, Javi Lopez, is in goal. Jordan Lampard and Marko Jankovic alongside Jake Marshall in the defensive quadrant of the team. Charlie Leach plays with Jack Pope and Jack Pater Andrews across the midfield. Noel Bernarda, Andy Brennan and Yuzu Iwakami are the firepower up front. Quartermain, the official in charge today. Boy from Ballarat, really enjoying his football as Andy Brennan's made a beeline inside the box. And has given the hosts early sighting. It's just beelining forward as Andy Brennan took a bit of stopping. And a chance goes begging early on for South Melbourne. They do like to score early. There's no doubts about that. They weren't too far away there from having an opening goal inside the first 2 minutes. Lots of change, of course, across the competition with the transfer window. Players just all circulating around the state. South have made no real, well, let's say, disillusions from such. They've had players leave, they've had players come in. It's a hope that their late season flurry can make up for that slow start they had. As for their bench, it's Jake Charriston as the unstudied goalkeeper, Campbell Dovison, Andrew Mezzaruni, Ethan O'Sullivan, Andre Sakapoulas and Braden Spink. All available. In terms of weather conditions, it was rather gusty around Melbourne today, but all considered around Lakeside, it seems to have subdued a little bit. Slight breeze just pushing really towards your screen, whatever direction it might be coming from. As a bib, Painter Andrews happy to find that of Javi Lopez. Brennan's little flick on for out of Pope. Gust happy to see that roll out of play. As Brennan crosses in, falls for Lampard on the edge of the area. Bit of a slip perhaps, and South were yet again trying something. Altona happy to clear, and to mention, of course, importantly, Ren Nagamastu is also in the lineup. That makes the numbers more even. He's slipped, just preventing South from getting busy, although we'll try his luck with a iconic Max Mikela long throw. Has the same journey, comes inside the box. Marshall tried the flick on. Kawaguchi tried the clearance. Theodorakopoulos has the ball just roll out of play, although it will be the Magics. Painter Andrews heading on. Stupchevsky, one of his own. Marshall getting involved. Pope not controlling. Habib wanted to go on a journey of his own now. He's making some leeway inside the box, causing headaches for Painter Andrews, although managed to get back and rectify the situation. As Brennan looks over the top, pacing behind for that of Pope to run onto. Bartka Danikoski happy to sort things out. South with the impetus early. Early days, of course, for Sinisha Kohasdic as the new man in charge around here, and could be quite the fairy tale he's overseeing as Rossi comes out. Loose ball, bit of a scramble, and Noel Bernarda will make sure that South Melbourne hit the board early. They asserted their authority upon the start of this contest and are deserving of the opening goal. Goal songs cued early, on the board early. Now that of the hosts.
South Melbourne, number 24, Noel Bernarda. It's South Melbourne 1, Altona Magic 0.
And for the 29-year-old, he's happy to be on the scoreboard yet again. this season. That makes it his 5th goal in 15 appearances. Instinctive, really, was Bernardo. Rossi had committed, although there wasn't much that could be done once it fell for out of the South Melbourne number 24. It's a dream start, really. Looking to get back to their best, and they love a bright start. They're now firmly back in control of possession. As Lopez. The idea was acknowledged by Brennan, although the execution just letting down out of South's shot stopper. Well, I've seen some pretty lopsided results so far this weekend. Of course, Heidelberg put 3 past Gully away from home. Last night at 7:30, it was a 2-0 victory for Dendy Thunder at JL Murphy Reserve against the Port Melbourne Sharks. The Cannons at home fired 4 past that of Hume City. And Preston Lions against the Melbourne Knights. The first time at Jenner Steel Stadium since 2009, with 3-0 victors against the side sitting at the bottom of the table. Do have some fixtures still remaining. It was St Albans against Melbourne Victory tomorrow at Churchill Reserve. Avondale and Dandy City over at Avenger Park. Nearing its conclusion. So we just close in on that at the business end of the season. Kawaguchi's cross. Lovely shape for Theodorakopoulos, who never was able to get genuine connection with the header. All considered, it was a great ball in on the flank, although I'm not sure Theodorakopoulos really had the belief there required. Last time the scores were checked, it was a goal apiece at Avenger Park. We'll update when we can as Lampard heads away. South trying to keep possession theirs. El Haloui, Barka Danikoski. Lofts it long, and Marshall's happy to head it out of play. And the final score at Avenger Park was a goal each between both Avondale and Dandy City, as an offside's been called here. In terms of the social club here today at Lakeside, nice build-up walking in, enjoying the offerings of the canteen, and well, those at South happy at the moment. Nice buzz around the club. El Haloui, Brennan preventing out of Charlie Leach now to have possession. Cross comes in for Brennan. Hits the crossbar. Olamawewe with a hat clearance. For a brief moment, you thought he might have just bounced over the line. Rossi well beaten. And it was Brennan who was preventing that of the Magic from escaping forward. Once he rolled it out wide to Leach, he was able to pick up Bernardo, who crossed it in for that of the number 7. And South look ominous right now. They have a corner. Nagamatsu with the cross. Marshall lofted. Leach. Yankovic going the diag. Brennan. Painter Andrews. El Haloui can escape into some space if he likes. Under some duress, Theodorakopoulos turns nicely away from his marker. Lofts it in behind. Shepherd giving chase. The flag stays down. Marshall with the protest, although Habib inside the box, still going. Rolls it for Theodorakopoulos. Gust. Kawaguchi. Brennan on defensive duties. The ball just took a deflection off of an Altona shirt on its journey out of play from Brennan. Nagamatsu, of course, arrives from Eastern Lions. 11 goals in 18 games this season. Yuzu Iwakami, the 7th tier of Japanese football, looking to apply his craftsmanship here in Victoria. They're both on the park, the 2 out of 4 new signings for South. Holomawebe clears long. Pope. Marshall came across. Still without Ross Archibald out of South. Quite the defensive pillar. Hasn't seemed to get his injuries correct, and I'm sure they'll try and make do without him for now as Habib lofts it in. Took a bobble on its journey through, and Javi Lopez has the experience and the composure. Painter Andrews. Brennan. Rossi uses the full length of his box. Nagamatsu, the new number 10, not able to latch onto it. Lampard. Marshall, back for Lampard. Nagamatsu. Pope with a miscue. Or Leach, rather, with the miscue. Of course, you got the small quartet of, on quote, South Melbourne Ultras, off quote. Their drums and their passion and their voice. I'm sure they've enjoyed what they've seen so far. Brennan pickpockets Gust. Wants to stroll forward. Oh, Halloween, nice challenge. Gust. Habib. Waits the overlap, cuts inside. Painter Andrews never gave up. And Wakami able to play now for Brennan. Pope on the overlap. Found by Brennan. Pope's cross comes in. Rossi spilt. Just grazed under the hair bristles of Olamawewe. 6'4", mind you, but the cross was chipped in perfectly just over his head. Painter Andrews, nice touch. Diag switch from Jankovic to Brennan. Well crafted. Brennan, not sure where to go now. Habib can start the counter charge. He asked a bit of Kawaguchi. In fact, asked way too much from him. As for Altona, somewhat much of the same season in comparison to last year. Last result prior to today was a 2-0 loss to that of Heidelberg at Paisley Park. Against their traditional rivals right now, they're trailing by a goal. Considering the way the bottom three starting to line up, I feel one more result of a win somewhat just ensure safety. As things get really compelling at the bottom end of the table. Leach. Bernarda. Gust's happy to call a bit upon Stuchevsky. Leach tried chipping him behind for that of Nagamatsu. And well, temper's starting to flare early. Barka Danikoski came a long way. For a brief moment, we'll just take a pause, considering that of, I'd like to say Theodorokopoulos is the one on the ground right now, just slow to get back up to his feet. Having quite the conversation with that of Mr. Quartermain. So Altona have a free kick just inside their defensive half. Sparkar Danikoski goes very long. In fact, too long. That evades his centre-back partner of Olamawewe. So 20 minutes played in this one. South in complete control. A slight chance that Vardar might have had was through Theodorokopoulos, which was never really bothering of Lopez. Bernarda with his 5th goal of the season. Jankovic. Lampard. For Jankovic once more. Lampard wants to go on a journey. Owen Shepherd says, I want to come with you. Holds onto his back and gives away a foul. Jankovic. Nagamatsu. Wanted it back, got it back. Thought about striking. Back for Pope. Brennan. Leach. Panther Andrews not able to chase. Altona processing, that was their ball. Southwell down the line. Stuchevsky happy to head out of play, so they're just itching closer and closer forward now are the hosts. Kawaguchi happy to clear. South trying to get creative, although the space is getting rather contained. Habib thought he had some space to run into. Ball just going out of play. Well, in accordance to Sofascore.com, on a head-to-head basis, in the last 10 meetings, South have won on 7 occasions. Altona only the 1 win against South. It's been some time since that's happened. As meanwhile in the box, ball comes out, the flick on. Is ambitious from Jankovic. The last time Altona had defeated South Melbourne, it was, well, back in 2021 with a red card. It was at Lakeside. It was a 2-1 victory. It was John McShane's penalty in the 51st minute, which was the match difference maker, as Bernarda controls to his advantage. Running at Shepherd. Bernarda tried to buy a corner. Shepherd bounces the ball off of Leach. Hits him in his midsection. Lampard happy to shift direction and allow for that of his teammate to get back up on his feet. But meanwhile, space has opened up for Diodorokopoulos. If Habib could find him, finds Kawaguchi instead. They get their shot away to Altona, but all considered, play had really opened up for Vardar on that counter charge. They played it across to Kawaguchi, who wasn't too sure which direction to turn in towards. Now finally the ball can just roll out of play and Charlie Leach can receive some attention. The 23-year-old, 14 appearances so far this season. 5 yellow cards also to his name. He's quite the versatile midfielder, holding central. Was an attacking mid. Doesn't mind to float around. Against one of his former employers. He had signed for out of South, had represented Port Melbourne and Altona. He's back up and roaming around again. Zachevsky happy to clear. Jankovic. Oh, wow. Okay, then a red card has been shown. It was very late, perhaps, in the end. And temper starting to come to a boil here once more. These old foes getting re-immersed in that long-standing rivalry. And Quartermain's reached right for the back pocket. A sending off has been made here. Upon watching that back, you could hear the reaction from the Altona bench. They were, well, let's say, incensed really with what they saw. It's a heavy touch. from Jankovic, and he had to lunge. And upon lunging, it's deemed dangerous. And just clipped the heel of his opponent. Well, the sending off has occurred. How can that come to the advantage for the visitors? So Jankovic just strolling into the tunnel. The captain's been sent off. The Magic with an extra player. And considering the match was starting to enter a bit of a lull period with South firmly on top, and that just shifts Altona firmly back into the contest. Zachevsky with a loft. Poised for Habib. Lopez with a punch away. Nagamatsu's little clip pass will have play sent in the lateral area, where Leach was happy to rekindle. Iwakami, makeshift centre back for the meantime now. The Japanese international. Nagamatsu, Brennan. Barka Danikoski clips away. El Haloui. Massive shout from the Magic bench. I wanted that pass released quicker. Bernarda clipping him behind. Lampard giving Barka Danikoski some headaches. And in the end, had to settle. Have the ball go out of play for a corner. South fans might think there could have been something more. Cross comes in towards the near post. In fact, it never made it there. It's a side of Christian Rossi's net. Iwakami might want that one back. Well, Andy Brennan hit the crossbar with his header. Was having firm involvement in this game.
Substitution for South Melbourne FC. Coming off number 7, Andy Brennan, being replaced by number 2, Braden Spink.
And as George Koo might say over the PA system, Braden Spink will take that of Andy Brennan's place. It's a defensive change. South reluctantly making a change. Habib can't shift direction. Leach, Bernarda. Might have had his heels clipped, although kept going Bernarda. Leach. Barka Danikoski stands in the way. Pope. Zachevsky with a fine read. Kawaguchi advancing. Asks a bit of Theodorakopoulos. We had mentioned, of course, that of Altona's last win against South Melbourne. It was at this very venue. It was a red card, but it was for Altona. So no real case of deja vu, but perhaps a penny for your thoughts. As you can see in the floodlights, bit of range starting to immerse the playing surface. Lampard. Cross comes in. It's a good ball too. Nagamatsu twisting and turning. Bernarda with a misfire. Lampard into a sea of bodies. Shepherd somehow able to clear. As Leach gets around Shepherd. Not around Thomason. And ends up in the discus nets. Corner taken short. Leach. Iwakami will have a throw in. Long throw, it was teased. Leach. Iwakami will want that back. On the way for Thomason. Poised in behind. It was a nice ball for Bilal Habib, as well defended by South. It was a substitute having his first involvement of Spink. Barka Danikoski. Thomason chasing Lampard. And Shepherd having a tussle. For Yuzu Iwakami, 35 years of age. Born in Koga, Japan. Played at the Tokai University for 3 years before having stints at multiple clubs across Asia, mostly in Japan. It's his first expedition to Australia. Quite the club to sign for. It's Lopez, scuffs the clearance a bit. Kawaguchi able to recycle possession. Stachevsky. Habib. Stachevsky. Bakara Danikoski. Olamewewe. Back to his centre-back partner, Bakara Danikoski. Stachevsky. Veteran now for that of the Magic. Habib. Gives away a foul. The officials having their fair bit to do early on in this one. 24-year-old of Bilal Habib with the foul. 3 goals across his 19 appearances so far this season for the Somalian. Formerly of Heidelberg. Before Altona, played some football at West Vale Soccer Club. Has quite the pace. There's a bit going on here still. It's Theodorakopoulos getting involved. He's been shown a card. And you feel like the red mist hasn't really precipitated away from this one yet. The rain getting a little bit heavier. As might be the animosity between these two sides. Altona are to turn the script. A win here today would put them on top of South Melbourne on the ladder. Alamowewe. Combines with Thomason. Altona now having their fair share of possession. Stachevski. Bypassed Theodorakopoulos. The ball ricochets towards the number 10. Alamowewe. Thomason. Crosses fizzed in with pace. Spink with 2 clearances. Nagamatsu trying to keep possession with South. Bernarda does enough. And Spink is happy to use his keeper of Javi Lopez. Bernarda, lovely flick for Lampard. Even better the return. The space might open up for South. Bernarda had done all the hard work, really. Nagamatsu was in behind, although the ball just not getting past Barka Danikoski. The Doherty Cup final, not too far away. The 9th of August, locked in. At the home of the Matildas. Traditional foes, lock horns once more. Replay of the 2023 Doherty Cup final where South were victorious. Bernarda's shot, although he's offside. Last time these two sides faced, it was all square at Paisley Park. The game starting and finishing the same way out of a 0-0 result. There's Altona that time who had a player go into the book and was sent off. There's a bib. It's a bit late there perhaps. And Nagamatsu. Stachevski last time out received 2 yellow cards to be sent off. He's not in the book today yet, but these two sides having no love lost between each other right now. Iwakami sends it long. Marshall's header, not to unlock Bernarda. Painter Andrews and below Habib getting well acquainted on that left flank. Shepherd. Gust on the overlap arrives. He's isolated Gust. Spink's done the job so far since coming on. But the ball bounced off him last and the Magic have a throw in. 3 minutes of regulation time still to play in this first half. Thomason's throw. Pope came across. Thomason for Gust, who strikes it. Spink with a block with his chest. Stachevski sends it up and high for Theodorakopoulos. Al-Haloui controls off his chest and Altona will try again. Christian Rossi calling for this move to be quicker. And I suppose a case of, well, when things are rushed, can't have them done properly. Al-Haloui, with the message from his captain, wasn't able to measure that pass, and South are back in possession. Lampard, bit of a miscue. Iwakami. Marshall does enough. Ball bouncing quite relentlessly. Lampard Marko Danikoski clears away momentarily. Nagamatsu going all the way into the palms of Rossi. Altona trying to reconfigure their shape, considering the one player to their advantage. You can see the flanks getting overloaded. Thomason and Shepherd on this left side, or broadcast side rather, really starting to get comfortable. Although they just can't seem Altona to manage the ball to transition with fluidity, and if they are to get it right, they will have sight upon that of Javi Lopez. His goal kick won't find a teammate. One's ahead of Shepherd. Spink. Bernardo trying a party trick, although the ball's gone out of play. El Haloui. A bit of discomfort, perhaps.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes at a time.
So the full 45 is all said and done. 2 additional minutes to play. Can the Magic find something? Marko Danikoski. Olamawewe, bit of a heavy touch. Got away with it. El Haloui. Olamawewe. Calculated that time around. Zachevsky's cross. Hit on the fly by El Haloui, which was never going to be bothersome upon that of Lopez. Olamawewe heads, but not to his advantage. Gusts. Wasn't facing it, kicked it forward. Iwakami had to loft. Another free kick for Altona. Leaves it for Olamawewe. Marko Danikoski, Zachevsky, Kawaguchi. Can he find the cross? Edge of the box was El Haloui. Sends it in. Not cleared yet. Habib can strike. Big block. Iwakami got acrobatic to clear. Marko Danikoski. Pope will head out of play. And that will be the first half.
Half-time at Lakeside Stadium. The score is South Melbourne 1, Altona Magic 0.
Noel Bernardo, the difference maker inside the opening 7 minutes to give South the 1-goal lead heading into half-time. The talking point really about the red card for Marko Jankovic, who's shown his marching orders halfway through the first half. Still some football left in this one. The second half between South Melbourne and Altona, not too far away as we cross to half-time. Let's go. Right as half time is about to conclude, the rain just seemed to stop. It was rather heavy throughout that 15-minute interval. Although it's still spitting a little bit, it wasn't as what we just saw. But Noel Bernarda, upon his 100th NPL men's match, so far was the difference maker for South Melbourne. Let's go! Substitute O'Sullivan as the wing backs, but they're firmly tucking in as the second half will start. Was certainly accounted for at the Magic right at the end of that first half for starting to overload the flanks, and in doing so the hosts had to rectify perhaps what could have been damaging in those wide areas with a tactical move. See how perhaps Altona can find something of their own in trying to get this game back on their terms. They have one player more than South do. It's a matter of now if they can break down the defensive wall, if you like, of South Melbourne. Iwakami's a holding midfielder, roaming in and out of both that centre-back position. You can see him push up as the ball is with the away team. Painter Andrews is very central in the defensive lineup. Not much attacking artillery for those in blue. It's Kawaguchi. Lovely turn. Fedorokopoulos. We'll say, that did not hit my hand, it hit my chest, but the protests will fall silent upon that of Quartermain. Spink. Drifting central. Iwakami. You look towards next week when Heidelberg take on that of South in the traditional derby. No Marko Jankovic. And that can come to perhaps bite back South. Zachevsky, Habib. Shift of direction. Breezes past O'Sullivan. Habib going on a journey. Fedorokopoulos takes charge. Habib for Gust inside the box. Number 10 and 11 just not on the same wavelength there. As the move comes to pass. Lampard flicks it on. Nagamatsu running at pace. Isolated, awaits the cavalry. Iwakami, Nagamatsu, Lampard. Lovely ball to find Pope, who can strike it. Deflection! And it's in! Jack Pope via the deflection from Zachevsky. Gives South Melbourne a 2-goal advantage. They love a quick start, don't they, the hosts? And they're 2 to the good. Brilliant play from Rem Nagamatsu. Instrumental in making that goal happen.
Goal, South Melbourne, number 99, Jack Pope. The score is South Melbourne 2, Altona Magic 0.
It was goal-bound originally, the effort. Pope had all the time in the world to really pick out a corner. Zachewski tried to block, and he's impacted this fixture as he might have last time out for all the wrong reasons. And a rock at a hard place perhaps was the veteran. And Rossi was helpless as the ball just unkindly went into the back of his net from an Altona Magic standpoint. Really can't understate the movement and fluid football from Ren Nagamatsu. Shifting gears, changing direction. It's a brilliant assist. But meanwhile, down the other end, Anthony Frangi has been brought on at half-time to try and get some firepower. Thrown in for out of Altona. He does lead the line. And was getting acquainted with Javi Lopez. Thomason for Frangi. Fedorokopoulos. Lampard, not sure where to go. Shepherd's inside the box. Spink was able to rectify, though. South happy to clear at the expense of a corner. Frangi has been one of the Magic's more feared attackers as the cross comes in with real shape for Frangi. Lopez, hammer fists away. Omawewe. Habib's cross. South deal with it for the meantime. Nagamatsu down the line. Altona will try once more. Frangi so far this season is their top goal scorer on 5 goals. His flick not going to work that time around. Olamawebe heads on. Frangi. Shifting centrally. Fedorokopoulos crosses in. Deflecting ball will somewhat help Javi Lopez. Who hacks it long into the night sky. Painter Andrews. Iwakami. O'Sullivan. As the ball just ricochet out of play and out for a throw, which he will take. Leach trying to latch on. Gets it back. Nagamatsu lurking. Gust. Fedorokopoulos. Frangi. Searches out wide. Thomason. Charging. Cross comes in with shape. Lopez taps away. Not cleared yet by South. Habib inside the box. Kawaguchi thought he'd try his luck. Leach somehow gets the ball out wide. Backheel for Lampard. Well crafted. Nagamatsu is on the deck. El Halwi now. In behind for Fedorokopoulos. Ball's just going to roll ahead of him. And Lopez can claim once more. As for South's number 1, 34 years of age. Of course, the Spaniard had some time with Bentley before joining South back in the 2022 season. Before Bentley, of course, was a former Vardar player with Altona. Spent most of his career in Spain before coming here to Melbourne, and has really made himself at home with South. Hasn't been short on winning silverware in his tenure here. You simply don't know. But considering all the tournaments that are coming up and the Oz Championship, there might be more folklore to write for that of Lopez. Lampard down the line. Almawewe heads away. Rokopoulos gets it back. Gust, centre of the park. Finds his, at one stage, fullback partner of Kawaguchi. Zachevsky, measured for Gust. Kawaguchi. Cross comes in with shape. Iwakami gets a foot on it. Gusts. Makes it work somehow. Gets it back from Kawaguchi. Crosses in with his right foot. Not cleared away yet. Thomason goes for goal! Asking a bit, perhaps he might have been. And for a brief moment, it felt as if the top left corner was going to ripple. Spectacular effort from William Thomason, new player to Altona. Can't knock his intent for trying. Painter Andrews. O'Sullivan back to the keeper. Kawaguchi heads it forward, but no real advantage. Gusts. Kawaguchi, they're combining a little bit more fluently now. O'Hallowy. Rokopoulos. Habib. Kawaguchi does well on the flank. His cross comes into the back post. It's a good ball. Lampard chests out a play. Frangi never arrived. Corner again. Almawewe crowds out of Javi Lopez. Cross comes into the near post. Painter Andrews heads away. Al-Halawi rolls it out wide for Habib. Cross is blocked. Al-Halawi trying to combine with Frangi on the edge of the area. It's clearance might just favour Nagamatsu. Gust. Lovely ball in behind. And Shepherd has it onto his right. Lopez with the save. Time standing still in that passage of play as Nagamatsu earns the foul. But all considered, that was Altona's best move so far this game. It was Gus with the provocative ball in behind. And Owen Shepherd opts to get it onto his more preferred foot of his right boot and was able to test Lopez. Keeper passes the first assignment. Dodorokopoulos flicks on for Al Halawi. Kawaguchi starting to lift. Habib back to Kawaguchi. More promising from the Magic. Cross comes in to the near post. Lopez able to handle. On Mowewe's header will work. Al Halawi and Leach. Stachevski. Progressing forward. Habib. Gusts. Dodorokopoulos. Trying to bypass Painter Andrews. Pope. Finds Nagamatsu. Lampard. Bouncing ball. Claim a handball south. Shepherd not looking towards the official. Stachevski. Here might come the heavy rain. We do have a quick glimpse at the weather app. Here in Albert Park, there was no indication of rain. It's more the wind, which was making some headlines. But there's an abundance of it now. The floodgates have opened. How might that impact what's going on down there? Al Halawi, Thomason, Olomowewe, Stachevski, Kawaguchi, Habib, long strides, trying to test Painter Andrews, cutting inside, still going Habib, he takes a slip. He'll protest, and he was brought down. Move's still there. It was behind Gust. It's getting slippery out there now. Al Halawi with a bit of a stumble, but we'll play the ball. Dodorokopoulos. Shepherd on the overlap. Thomason back to Dodorokopoulos. His cross won't come in. His counterpart number. Nagamatsu chipping for Pope. They do have possession, Altona. It's a matter of doing something with the ball. Still got ample time. It's a matter of how, but they are building. Olomowewe. Shepherd. Big throw down the line. Shepherd heads away. Leach does much of the same. Painter Andrews back off the flight. Heads towards O'Sullivan. Kawaguchi. They come together. A yellow card comes out for the substitute. And that could have been perhaps something more, one might assume, but it's a hefty collision. Both players going for the ball. Kawaguchi's back up on his feet, although the Altona Medicos come for the journey. Kawaguchi just dismissing him, really. It looked sinister, although the official having best view of it, and a card was certainly awarded and appropriate for Ethan O'Sullivan. Kawaguchi just ominous in his presence for the reverse pass, although Al-Halabi will chip it in. Cleared away, gasps, takes a touch, takes a hit, hits the crossbar. Habib keeps the move going, Kawaguchi's in there. Stochevski, they couldn't seem to have the ball clear past the line. South somehow keep it out. But once Gust had shifted on towards his left, you knew something was going to happen. The crossbar still shaking. That might have been the spark which Altona needed. Al-Halabi's delivery firmly to the back post that evades all comers. And hear the noise from the South Melbourne faithful. And somehow Altona weren't able to scramble the ball in. Lopez, long clearance, Gust wins the ball back. Big slide from Nagamatsu. Really enjoyed the number 10's game today for South Melbourne. He's had a lot to do. As speaking of number 10's, that's it for Christos Theodorakopoulos. Who strolls off. Hasn't really hit the heights he did in comparison to last season. As Theodorakopoulos.
Substitution for Altona Magic. Coming off, number 10, Christos Theodorakopoulos, being replaced by number 39, Ida Natsopoulos.
It was Hatsopoulos, that of Peter, who enters the mix. Like for like change, you could argue. Of course, last season for Manningham and Moreland, Theodorakopoulos had more room to really roam, perhaps, in attack. Was deployed as a second striker. His first employer last season before the move back to one of his former clubs in Moreland. And hit double digits across the campaign. Bit more of a playmaker this season. Throw in taken. Frangi. Stochevski. Kawaguchi. Gust. Habib. Zachevsky. Habib. Olamawewe. Still rampaging here. Was the centre back. Spink had to intervene. South really locking in behind the ball. They've got the scoreboard where they want it. 2-goal lead, although it's all for the Magic to do. And South have set up shop and look to close out the time on the board. Still 20 minutes of regulation. Hatsopoulos. Thought he'd try his luck. Lampard, happy to hack forward. Christian Rossi wants it to be moving. Gust. Habib, back to Gust. Thomason. Gust. Zachevsky. South really making Altona work. Hatsopoulos. Gust. Back to the substitute. Zachevsky. Every player, bar Stochevsky, locked inside out of the South Melbourne defensive half. Frangi trying to get the ball back of Pope. It's one way to get the ball back from Thomason. Dived in with his head. Something you might not see every day. It's almost like John Terry at the World Cup when he executed his infamous fish dive in the match where England played Slovenia to prevent the shot of Zlatko Dedic all those years ago in Africa. Gast clipped from behind. Andrew Mezzaruni, his first touch.
For South Melbourne FC. Coming on, number 19, Andrew Mezzaruni, and number 26, Campbell Dobson, replacing number 15, Yuzo Iwakami, and number 10, Ren Nagamatsu.
Both had very good games, did the duo of New South Melbourne players. They reside on the bench now, and well, Mezzaruni, with his first involvement, gave away a free kick. Taken quickly, Habib. Frangi on the edge of the box, onto his left. Block was necessary. Gust has a go. All the bodies for South in the way. Mezzaruni for Lampard. Shepherd does well. Breezes past his opponent. Low cross comes in. Gust trying to keep the move going. Mezzaruni. Not around Shepherd. Kawaguchi. Stachevski. Olimawewe, they're edging closer and closer towards the box. Cross comes in from Shepherd. O'Sullivan heads away. Habib. Hatsopoulos inside the box. El-Halwi. Quartermain gets in the way. Stachevski. Gets it back from Olimawewe. Habib. Kawaguchi. Try to unlock. Hatsopoulos. Just over 15 minutes of regulation time left. Kawaguchi. Habib. Stepping inside. Gust hit the crossbar. Only minutes ago. His cross. Will be questioning of everybody. Lopez has had his fair share of goal kicks this evening. Marshall happy to try and lock play in. Side South Melbourne's attacking half. Hasn't been there for some time. Dare I say, since out of Jack Pope's goal. Meanwhile, Mezzaruni strikes it. Never really testing of Rossi. Wasn't really called in to make a save, considering couldn't clear out of the cross, which allowed for Bernarda to capitalise upon. The deflection didn't really help him either. Upon South's second. Frangi saying to Lopez, using too much time. It's valuable now for Altona. Thomason with the header. Stachevski to cushion it for out of his captain. Rossi could only clear out of play. Bit of a stalemate this one now. Looking ahead in the fixtures and towards the table, there's a bit to unpack with the competition. Not too far away from this season all being said and done. For next week, Altona face Avondale at Paisley Park. 3:15 kickoff. Last time that fixture was played out at home for Altona, it was a 1-0 victory, where Christian Rossi stood up and saved Blake Carpenter's penalty, which was the last kick of the game to ensure all 3 points remained at home for Vardar. Of course, had the iconic celebration and knee slide to follow. What was a dramatic end to quite the game of football. South travel to Olympic Village. They take on Heidelberg. A nice taste test for the main course, which is to come in the Doherty Cup final. Start of next month. Meanwhile here, Habib can't get the cross in. Credit to South. afternoon turned evening. They've been very, very defensively sound. Altona have had to get inventive upon their attacking. Although the crossbar was struck, Javi Lopez has been up to the tasks, and South Melbourne defensively have been rather sound. Still 10 minutes left to play. Stachevski a bit short. O'Sullivan had handled the ball. Quick look at the live ladder. Win here for South does put them on 26 points. And just somewhat keeps a late flurry for finals well and truly alive. Have to rely on both Hume City, Dandy City and Green Gully, all losing points. Habib. Inside the box, still was menacing. El Haloui manufactures a corner. For Altona, of course, they're 6 points clear of victory and the Port Melbourne Sharks. But look to make a certainty of remaining in the competition with a few wins in the weeks to come, as Javi Lopez came out. Oliver Wewe is there. Became almost a game of rugby in the end. All getting stuck in the mid-grip of the keeper. Gusts, Stachevski, Kawaguchi, Matsopoulos, can't find Shepherd. He's exchanged flanks with Habib. Lampard and Thomason exchange. Altona's ball. Kawaguchi. Frangi. Nice interplay between the two. Shape on the delivery towards Gusts. Lampard under some discretion. Ball had gone out of play. Will be Souths. Despite the season not exactly going according to the script, I'm sure they might have planned out at the start of the year. South have still had their moments to cherish. Upon the return fixture, there's the Preston Lions here. It's Max Mikula, who really stole the show, scoring a bicycle kick to win the game. At a very similar minute mark a few rounds back. Of course, another little entree for what's to come in the Oz Championship. Not too far away, that competition. Trophy doing the rounds. It's in Sydney at the moment. Kawaguchi. Meanwhile here, so much of the same for the Magic. They've had a lot of possession. They've tried a lot. They just can't seem to find that decisive moment. But Charlie Leach has his night all but conclude. Andre Skapoulas comes on in his place. What is his second appearance for South this season, the young 19-year-old.
For South Melbourne, coming on, number 16, Andre Skapoulas, replacing number 88, Charlie Leach.
Sullivan down the line. Stachevski. First touch for Skapoulas. Gust. Hoofs it forward. Painter Andrews. Wasn't certain. Habib. Takes it to the corner. Trying to get around both. Spink and O'Sullivan try to sort things out. Kawaguchi gets the foul. Right on the edge of the box. They're leaving it late, Altona. You'd think if they are to snatch out of a point, they need something from this. Promising position. 21 yards out from goal. Olimawewe, the target at the back post. Kawaguchi goes towards that area. Lampard with the header away initially. Hatsopoulos was in there. Skapoulas trying to clear. Habib has the strength. Thomason. El Halwi. Altona throwing the kitchen sink at this one now. Lampard sends that to the car park. El Halwi. Stachevski. Frangi signalling with his hands. He wants the ball in the box. Hallowe's cross with shape. O'Sullivan's clearance. Skapoulas. Lovely first touch. Trying to really make it difficult was Mezzaruni also. Gus. Frangi. Olimawewe. Frangi, edge of the box. Trying to find the opening. Makes Stachevski go for a bit of a run. The veteran keeps it alive. Gust. Wasn't able to generate genuine connection on the ball. Lampard will gift it back for Rossi. Stachevski. Habib. Gets it back. Steps inside. Habib still going. He goes down. El Halwi. But Spink, I might have just had his head knocked in all the chaos. Quartermain has a signal towards the South Melbourne Medico. This will, of course, add to the extra time, but looks as if, regardless if Altona are to score, South might just have this all but wrapped up. nearly at the full length of the 90. Melbourne's opener and Jack Pope's second via the deflection have the scores at 2-0. From the drop ball, Altona will get things moving again. Stachevski's cross. And much of the same this afternoon turned night. They get into crossing positions. They just can't seem to pick out anybody, Altona. 4 minutes of additional time. A call by the fourth official. South fans singing their song. Still time for late drama.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes at a time.
Habib, nice turn. Sullivan, not as far as Stachevski. Habib, spring in his step. Hatsopoulos, Kawaguchi, Gust, gets a corner. Cross comes in. Nothing really threatening. And right into the mixer, and Christian Rossi's come a long way. Thomason. O'Hallowy. Kawaguchi. O'Hallowy. South with the ball back. They win number 7 of the season for South as they look to get themselves prepared for the Doherty Cup final. In preparation to disrupt the party occurring in the northern suburbs of town, and of course of Heidelberg's impeccable run so far this season. Can they be disruptors through that upon their next visit to Lakeside? Altona will look to the drawing board in preparation for next week. Stachevski, Kawaguchi, Habib, consolation prize, really what's on offer now. Olimawewe told to shoot by Gust. Lampard closes out the space. Marshall heads away. Taken off the fly. And Hatsopoulos had Lopez worried. Keeper dived just wide of. Out of the far post. Full of voice now are the South Ultras. They're not far away. Altona unrelenting. Habib tries a flick. Gust, Kawaguchi. This is more promising. Deflecting ball inside the box. Out for a corner. O'Hallowy's take. Marshall heads away. Olimawewe tried the bicycle. In fact, that was Bilal, who might have just But that will be that. South Melbourne managed to get the job done.
Full time at Lakeside Stadium, and it's South Melbourne 2, Altona Magic 0.
They get the job done, do the hosts.
We make the trip midweek to Tasmania to take on South Hobart in the Australia Cup. To watch the game, head to Paramount Plus, where you'll be able to watch us as the feature match of the round.
Heard it there first from George Koo. There's a travel midweek for South Melbourne. They're off to Tasmania for Oz Cup duties. Of course, notorious giant slayers in that competition. But against the old foes of the Altona Magic here in NPL Victoria competition, Noel Bernarda and Jack Pope doing enough out of the score sheet to ensure a 2-0 victory for the Lakeside Custodians. So we can call full time here. I've been Adam Palombi. We appreciate you joining us, and until the next NPL fixtures, we'll see you then. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.